Welcome, everybody. And yes, today we are going to discuss not the law of attraction, which hopefully everybody knows, or the law of intention, which everybody should know. But today we're going to talk about the law of Goya, G-O-Y-A. And this was something that I actually practiced the law of Goya without knowing I was doing it. So when Eddie and I sold our businesses, most of you know our story, that it was an 8-year multi-million-dollar legal battle. And even though we won in court 8 years later, even after selecting a jury, the only winners were the attorneys because they went out of business about 7 months after the litigation started. So at the age of 52, we were dead right, dead broke, and over $450,000 in debt. And somebody gave me this book, The Road Less Traveled by Dr. M. Scott Peck. And I was overwhelmed with just stress and frustration. And, you know, out of crisis, they say change can either bring positive or negative. And I really believed that the guy upstairs, and it doesn't matter who you believe in, that sometimes we have to be hit on the head and realize that there's a better way. And that's what happened to us. And we moved to Arizona, met a great lady, you know the story, but in the book, The Road Less Traveled, look at the first words in the book. Life is difficult. Think about that. And, you know, life is a series of problems. Do you want to moan or do you want to solve them? And I didn't really understand that 30, 40 years ago. I did not think that life was going to be a series of problems. I married my childhood sweetheart. We had everything we wanted. Never thought it would go away, but it did. So what did we decide to do? And very often we think, how did this happen to us? Do you know anyone that has ever been or experienced a downward spiral? Because we know we can't change the past. You know, the Lion King gets hit over the head. You can't change the past. But from today forward, we can make a new ending. And it's really not about how badly you want change or how badly you want something different. It's what are you willing to do to make it happen? I mean, this is the key. What are you willing to do to make your dreams come true? And it doesn't matter what your dreams are because they're different for everyone. Now, I often, when we got into the profession of network marketing, which is now about 25 years ago, I really had a hard time. I just could not understand people who said they would do things and didn't do them. I mean, I couldn't comprehend because if they were working for me and I gave them a job description and Friday we would have our performance reviews. And if they didn't do them, guess what? I would fire them, or I should say Eddie would fire. I hired, he fired. So when we got into the profession of network marketing, we had a huge learning curve. And I often compare the selection process to a thoroughbred horse versus a donkey. Now, if you look at them, they sort of look alike. They even sort of sound alike. But trust me, if you were putting your reputation on the line and you were at the Kentucky Derby, would you put your reputation on the donkey or the thoroughbred? Obviously, answer. But success leaves clues. And it took us 11 companies to finally crack the code, because I used to think it was about products because Eddie and I are so product based. I thought it was about the systems and the mentorship and the compensation plan. But guess what? The number one strength of a thoroughbred's forelegs is corporate ownership. What is their track record? because I have a saying, leopards don't change their spots. Sad, but true. And it was interesting. Just yesterday, I heard a statistic that I will share with you. In the United States, just in the United States, there are 3,300 network marketing companies. Were you shocked by that number? Because I was. 3,300. And of course, we all know hundreds open every month and hundreds close every month. But out of the 3,300 in the US, only about 3 control the quality of their manufacturing because they do it themselves. And guess what? Ken Brailsford, our CEO, has had pharmaceutical grade manufacturing for decades. So we control the quality. And it was interesting when we did our first visit to Utah and we toured the manufacturing plant. And when you get a chance, you got to do that. I asked the VP that was doing the tour, what does that mean, certified pharmaceutical grade? And he said, well, let me put it like this. He said, we are open to on-site inspections with no announcement. They just sort of show up. And if we fail an inspection even once, we lose the certification and can never get it back. I don't know about you, but I care about what goes in my body. And I care about the products that I share with people. I care about what they're putting in their body. So you can be assured we have the finest, because those 3,300 companies all say they have the best products, the best compensation plan, the best owners. Well, we know that's not true. We absolutely know that's not true. So success does leave clues. And a couple of years ago, I fell in love with a gentleman by the name of Brian Tracy. Do you know who he is? Say yes or a thumbs up or whatever if you know who he is. And he's getting older, but I have to tell you, his training is phenomenal. In fact, I have on my desk probably 150 pages of some of his training that I have printed out. But success does leave clues. Now think about this. Look at the people in Zija who are diamond or above. Now, how did they get there? What did they do? Did they have different products? Do they have a different compensation plan? What is it that makes them successful? And the key is they believe. They don't have limiting beliefs. And yes, they have roller coaster emotional days just like us. But what's underneath the surface of what you see? They're persistent. They know that failure and disappointment is part of the game. It's part of the process. But they believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are going to accomplish their goals, regardless of how long it takes. And are they willing to work hard? Sure. Now, we all know about the law of attraction and doing vision boards, and that's all great. But it doesn't result in success without good habits, hard work, and dedication on a daily basis. So depending upon how badly you want it, what are you willing to do? And as there were some days I just don't feel like getting on the phone. I don't feel like following up. But guess what? I do it anyway. Why? Because I know how important it is. And often I'll bring upstairs a mirror on my desk. And I used to do this with my customer service reps in my medical and surgical supply business, because when hospitals or discharge planners called, the first contact was the person that answered the phone was my customer service rep. So I would make them put a smile on their face. So when they answered the phone, the tone of their voice was so different. So smiling and dialing, that's what we called it 25, 30 years ago. It's still smiling and dialing. So what are you willing to do to have the success that you deserve? That's a really important question. And do you believe it's possible? Because if you don't believe it's possible, guess what? It's not going to happen. So when you look at people, and that's what really, for me, 25 years ago, I went to every event. I never missed an event. And I would see people on stage and I would say to Eddie, can you believe that? This person can't walk and talk and chew gum at the same time. And look at the money they're making. What do they know and do that I don't know and do? And I was determined to be a success. Nothing or nobody was going to stop me. So do you have that kind of belief? Do you have that kind of conviction? And this is a new year. And we've had a tough 18 months. Our world was turned upside down 18 months ago. Was yours? So we now know what we need to do to make this year the best ever. So it really begins with two beliefs. And I want you to say this out loud. Of course, I can't hear you, but you need to say this every single day. The future can be better than the present. Do you agree? The future can be better than the present. And I have the power to make it so, because you do. You can lock arms with anyone in Zija, not only your support team, but corporate and our Kissing Cousins cross line as well, because this is your year. I know it's our year. And if you're part of our team, we're going to make sure that we succeed. And we're going to use the law of YOA. Now, who knows what YOA stands for? Any idea? Because YOA will make your dreams a reality. Who knows what YOA stands for? Now, I'm going to go over to the chat window if I can find it again and see who knows the law of YOA. So let's see if somebody is responding. Oh my goodness, nobody knows the law of YOA. I am shocked, absolutely shocked. Okay. I mean, Ed knows what it is, right? Okay. So the law of YOA stands for get off your ass. Get off your ass and focus. I remember years ago, Eddie and I did a training at a conference, and he said, I'm going to talk about the F word. And I had no idea what he was going to say. It was, oh my goodness, what the world is he going to say? And his favorite word is focus. But what are you focusing on that's going to create results? Now, it's important to read every day, at least 30 minutes to an hour a day, but that's not an income producing activity. It's important to, watch the replays, watch the videos, make sure you get on the medical advisory council and listen to all of those trainings. But the most important thing to focus in on are income producing activities that create results and income. So who knows what MDC stands for? Now, I used to say MDC when I was first in the business. We were taught MDC means minimum daily contact. And things haven't changed in 25 years. I don't care what company you're working. The fundamentals are the basics and they never change. MDC means minimum daily contact. So if you're part-time, which most people are, I'd say maybe 95, 97% of people are part-time looking to create an additional income. They call it now the gig economy, trying to bring in an additional revenue stream. In fact, I was talking to a gal yesterday who said that she wants to know that she's got an extra $1,000 or $2,000 coming in because her job now that she has loved for years is at risk. So minimum daily contact, if you're part-time, like the majority of people, do you know what that number should be of income producing activities, minimum daily contact every single day? And with social media, it's a no-brainer. And with the phone, I mean, when we got started 25 years ago, to make a phone call, it was 25 cents a minute. I mean, now we've got bundled services. It's like next to nothing to make a phone call or a text message. So part-timers, real part-timers, minimum daily contact should be between 5 to 10 people every single day, 5 to 10 people every single day. And you can do that like in 30 minutes on social media, whether you're doing Facebook or LinkedIn. And I was at a conference, which, because we never missed them. And I had a lanyard on and there was a whole bunch of ribbons on it. One of the ribbons was green and it said MDC. And I said to the gal sitting next to me, minimum daily contacts, I got a green ribbon? Do they have my phones tapped? Do they know how many contacts I do every single day? Because full-timers should be doing a minimum of 20 to 25 contacts every single day. And I'm wearing a green badge that says MDC, minimum daily contacts, and I am doing and still doing at least 15 to 25 contacts every single day. And the girl says to me, you idiot, that doesn't stand for minimum daily contacts. It stands for $1 Million Club. So there's the secret. To do the minimum daily contacts, the result will be, if you do them every single day, you also will be a part of the $1 Million Club. Does that sound like a plan? Does that sound like something that you want? And, you know, here is a key that statistically it is what it is. You know, you've heard fortune is in the follow-up. So when I go to an event and I either exchange my virtual business card or a physical card, my goal is to connect with that person within 24 to 48 hours. If you do not do that, they're not going to remember you. And how I do it, I create in Word a short little document. So great to meet you at the X event this past week. Looking forward to connecting more and knowing more about what you're doing. And I include my photo. So on my desktop, I have a little photo. I usually use the one from Facebook or somewhere else that I include in the text message, because very often when people go to an event, they meet so many people, they can't remember who's who. So include your photo. So where do you see yourself in your follow-up income producing habits? Where do you see yourself? Are you part of the 48% who never follow up? Or are you part of the 10% who only follow up on three times? In fact, the woman that I was sharing with you about, we chatted yesterday, and I said to her, when was the last time we chatted? And I knew it because I was in my Moringa funnel. So I knew exactly the time and the date. And so she said, oh, wow, Sandi, it's been a while. I said, I'll tell you exactly. It was 5.5 months ago. So what I'm doing, because I really believe with Zija 2.0 and the announcement about CBD coming, this is a new deal. This is a new deal. You've got to go back to people that you haven't spoken to maybe in a year or two or more. Why? Because they need to know. And you could say something like, I'm expanding in your area. You're probably doing incredibly well with whatever you're doing, but who do you know that would love to be involved in record-breaking growth that I might be able to contact, because I'm coming to your area? And they're going to be curious. Well, tell me what it's about. So make sure you are doing the income producing activities. So just imagine a bucket of oysters. And in this bucket, there's at least 100 oysters. But you were told that there is a pearl in one of those buckets that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Would you stop shucking 10 oysters, 20 oysters, 70 oysters? And every time I have a conversation, I visualize, is this person an oyster with a priceless pearl that together we're going to make history? Otherwise, if you don't follow up and don't make the phone calls, it's like trying to fill up a tub of water without putting the stopper in. people come and they go, they come and they go. And I spent weeks at the Apple store. If you know me, I love Apple classes. And I did a simple system for success, getting started training. So it's the 48-hour training that everybody in the industry is using. And you know what? People who are so eager for success, you know how many people actually complete it? Forget the 48 hours. How about like 48 days? And yet they tell me how serious they are about wanting a better way of life. So when someone doesn't do their getting started training, which is also their business plan for the IRS, so they can take advantage of the huge tax advantages of a home-based business by working their home-based business just 7 to 10 hours a week, and they don't do something that will take 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, and then they tell me they're serious and want to lock arms and want my time. What would you do or say to people who don't do their 48-hour assignment? I mean, life is about choices. And the truth is, if you're listening to this live or you're watching the replay, you are a superhero. You just are. Which one is your favorite? And believe that you can get anything done that you want to accomplish. And how badly do you want those results? And what are you committed to do to make sure that it happens? I mean, think about it. Why not you if you're willing to put in the work? Not going to happen. It's not like the law of attraction. And we talked about, just wishing it and feeling it. You must go into activity. The law of G.O.Y.A. And what's interesting, now for 16 years, we did a unilevel and we had to build, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. And in stair-step breakaways like New Skin or Amway, Forever Living, I mean, the older companies, still stair-step breakaways. I mean, you got to build like 8 teams, 11 teams. I don't know about you, but my age, I don't think I've got enough years left to build 11 teams. And in Zidra, all we need to do is build 2 teams, a left and a right. Get 2 who get 2. Whoop, I just dropped my bottle. Get 2 who get 2 and duplicate that. And if you're willing to do that, it should be the success platform that everyone follows. Just 2 who get 2. And what are your excuses? What are you saying? I'll do it tomorrow, but I can't. It's so hard. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. Oh, maybe I'll wait for the CBD to come and it'll be easier. I don't have enough money. Come on, guys. It is now your time. We can't repeat yesterday. It's gone. We can never make it up. We have today. That's why they call it the present. It's a gift. We cannot repeat today, but you can put in place what you need to do to live the life you deserve. So here are 2 acronyms you should live by. And hopefully you have pen and paper and write it down. One is PEA, and the other is IPA. And this is every day. And PEA is positive, energetic, and awesome. And before you get out of bed in the morning, take just a few minutes to think positive thoughts and feelings. You should already know your activity schedule because you either have your planner or you have your calendar where you know exactly the calls you need to make, the follow-ups you need to do. If it's not, as Brian Tracy says, you have to ink it. It should be in writing or in your calendar on the phone. So you should know what you're doing. And of course, if you've got a job and you take a lunch break, I remember hearing a training many years ago where a young man married, a whole bunch of kids, full-time job, and he only had his lunchtime. He only had 1 hour a day with which to work his part-time business. And he vowed never to eat lunch alone. Of course, it was a write-off at the same time. So every day, 5 days a week, for an hour, he ate lunch with someone. And over time, he built his freedom. So figure out where you're going to have your hour a day or 2 hours a day, because that's what's required for you to have the huge tax advantages, just like Warren Buffett and Tony Robbins and everybody else who makes the kind of money we all wish we could make. So here's your success strategy. Really simple. Strategy number 1, get off your ass and follow up. Call all the people you haven't spoken to from way back when. Maybe there's people that you haven't followed up recently. Remember, when you meet someone, critical within 24 to 48 hours to follow up. And I like text messaging with a photo, because emails, we're all bombarded with emails. And the third strategy is what? G.O.Y.A again and follow up. It's simple, guys. Don't make it more complicated if you want the life that you deserve and if you want freedom. So the question is, what does freedom mean to you? I know for me, and I was watching Brendan Bouchard. Some of you might have seen his week of transformation free training. And by the way, if you can get to his event, which is in Arizona, it's, I think, $1 to attend. Of course, there's all kinds of upsells, but the 3 days with him is amazing. And what he was looking for in his interpretation of what freedom means to him was lifestyle. And I can relate to that. It's freedom not to worry. It's what Eddie and I call peace of mind. It's to be able to have a laptop or a mobile device and travel anywhere you want for a week or two or more at a time, and you're still in business. It's to be debt free. It's to have control of my time as well as the finances. So, what do you want? And are you willing to work the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get it done? And together, I'm telling you, together, we are going to have an amazing 2019. Now, there is a video that I'm going to show you as long as I can find it. And hang on, because the company gave us, there we go, some videos that I think, because it's a new year and we're all committed. I sent out a Dr. Plant video yesterday with weight loss. I mean, these people lost 100, 200, 300 pounds on our basic 30 system. So we have some tips for you, that for those of us who want to be in great shape, and we can share this, and I shared it with lots of people as well. And I'm now going to play my very favorite song, and I sure hope you can hear it, and we will end with this. Okay, let me.
There's a secret to success everybody hopes to find.
not going to be able to get to where you need to be. T. Harv Eker wrote a book about the millionaire mind. So it's all about the mindset. And do you and will you do what you need to do to have the success you deserve? So I'm glad you were able to join me or listen to the replay. Love the song. If you'd like me to send you that song to put on your mobile device, so when you're driving or you're working out, you can sing along. So to everyone, let's have the most amazing new year so that we all can travel the beaches of the world together. God bless, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. But remember, focus on PEA and IPA. Bye for now.